I think the Louisiana people are going to really love Banana Ball if they haven't seen it before.
I went to Brother Martin. I'm going to give Rumble Raiders
I'm actually in my Rumble Raider uniform today with the
blue
shirt out,
and the gray.
Built to Host really works for us because it's true.
Since the worst real estate deal we've done, selling Louisiana to the U.S.
From the Love NOLA TV studio on New Orleans' beautiful St. Charles Avenue, this is the Mark Romig Show. Today's guests, Senior Vice President of Convention Sales and Strategies, Stephanie Turner. Love NOLA TV's own Chef Pooch Rivera. Catcher for the Savannah Bananas and Southeastern alum, Bryce Grizzaffi. And Consul General of the French Republic, Rodolphe Sambou. And now, your host, Mark Romig.
Welcome, everyone, to the Mark Romig Show. Thanks for watching our full episodes on YouTube, and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications for all of our conversations. You can also listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music and get clips on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All right, crew, this is going to be a fun episode. We're pulling Chef Pooch Rivera away from the production table this week and into the guest chair to talk about his new podcast, Love to Eat New Orleans. Walking down the hall to our studio will be Stephanie Turner, and we'll talk about her critical role at New Orleans & Company and why she and her team need to be successful for our city. Savannah Banana Baseball is coming to town this week, and we've got a local hero to speak with. And later, Consul General of the French Republic, Rodolphe Sambou, joins us to talk about his work in Louisiana, promoting the relationship between New Orleans and France. I have the best production crew in the business, and we are so happy to celebrate. Larry had a baby boy. Well, his wife had a baby boy on Friday morning. We're just so excited to wish them all the blessings, and we know we'll see Larry in a couple of months back here in the show. And we have a new face with us today, Kagan. Kagan, welcome.
Hey.
Leisure social media content creator for New Orleans & Company.
Yes.
And music aficionado, as I'd like to call you. Can't wait to get into some music thoughts from you during the show. And of course, Cage, you're back with us. Thank you very much. It's great to see you. And of course, Cal, always a pleasure.
Always.
And I know we're going to be talking to Chef Pooch later in the show, so we'll spend some time with him as well.
Yeah,
There's so much happening this week. You've got New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. You've got, of course, the New Orleans Book Festival out at Tulane University. And then, of course, we've just celebrated International Women's Day. We've got so many wonderful role models out there. Cage, who do you see as a role model?
Definitely probably like my mom, my grandmothers,
Yeah.
all the New Orleans women, really
Yeah,
great role models.
they've carried us through so much. Kagan?
Definitely the same. Love my mama. Love all the wonderful women in my family. On the music level, definitely want to always lift up some wonderful women DJs, some of my counterparts in the city. DJ Legatron Prime, Rakimbo, Nice Rack, who is one of my OGs, the person who put me on. She's a fabulous person, also a web designer, so talented. And DJ Soul Sister, one of my greatest inspirations.
Fantastic. I'd like to call out a woman here in the New Orleans area, Deb Elam Grant. Y'all may know her for Dining with Deb. She's a wonderful, inspiring person who has done so much in her work in the years. She was president of the GE Foundation. She's now back in New Orleans consulting, doing leadership workshops, and just a wonderful role model for women and also for men. So hats off to Deb Elam Grant.
And if I may also.
Yes, you may, Cal.
Shout out my mother, my stepmother, and I know I just mentioned her, but my wonderful, beautiful fiance, Katie, for International Women's Day, which was Sunday, which was the same day we had the party.
So you had like an International Women's Day theme birthday party.
No, it was funeral themed, but.
Well, that's right. We talked about the crash 29. Well, since we're all mentioning moms, I'm going to mention my mom, Janice Romig, just turned, and she doesn't mind me saying this, 94.
Wow.
And she is going strong, and she's the original helicopter mom. She takes care of us. You know, everybody thinks it's just the opposite. No, Mama's watching over all of us, so we're blessed to have her.
That's awesome.
And speaking of women, who we all want to recognize, I'd like to call out right now someone who is so critical to the success of New Orleans and who's playing such a pivotal role here at New Orleans & Company. When people think of tourism, they think of things like Mardi Gras and Jazz Fest and all these festivals that we're getting into right now. But as you will learn, you know, there are 300 plus other days out of the year, and conventions and meetings create such an important impact on the rest of the economy. And due to her work, New Orleans was recently ranked number 3 in the nation as a convention host city. Now, presented by New Orleans & Company, we get to spend 5 minutes with Stephanie Turner. Thank you for being with us. I've been wanting to have you on the show for many weeks, and I know your schedule is such that we finally got you here. We need to talk about the great work that you're doing. Thank you.
Well, it's my honor. I am so happy you have this show. It's a great platform to talk about what's happening in our wonderful city. And you have been my friend and mentor and colleague, and so it's just my honor to be here today.
Well, Stephanie, tell us, thank you very much for that. Tell us, you know, you're bringing in these conventions, these major meetings, but all sizes, really. What does that mean to the city?
Well, it really is interesting because we are such a tourist destination, and we are thought of because of our wonderful iconic events. Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, French Quarter Fest, all the festivals, all the special events we host, the sporting events. But those events just take up a few days in the calendar.
Right.
And then they are 300 and something other days. We don't have the volume of business travel, individual business travel that occur in other cities. Dallas and Atlanta, we just don't have those Fortune 500 companies, as you know. And so what happens, our meetings and conventions become the foundational layer. So we are working today for tomorrow, but today for 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So the foundation is laid slowly and in layers.
You know, you mentioned 10 years from now. I understand that you're booking into the city into the 2030s and beyond.
We are. And it sounds shocking when you first hear it. Why would you book something 10, 15 years out? But when you're talking about some of the largest meetings in the country that require all 1 million square feet of our convention center and 30 plus hotels to make the guest room part of it work, you have to get that far out to be able to secure that kind of space.
Yeah, and for the last few years, you've been working through this wonderful way to capture why New Orleans is so special for meetings, and it's the Built to Host. How did that come about?
Well, you were involved at that from the beginning. Back in 2019, competition was really heating up, and this was just before COVID, in those last 6 months of 2019, and our hotel community, we as a community realized we needed something to help us stand out so that we didn't get left behind like, oh, New Orleans, we've been there every 3 years. There's all these new places. Let's go there. And so we really did a deep dive together into how we were perceived. We did a deep dive into how other cities communicated, advertised, and talked about themselves. And after this extensive research, we came back with 3 simple words that just are true, and that's what makes a brand work. So Built to Host sounds simple, but it was a long time getting there, and there were many options, but Built to Host really works for us because it's true. And it's true about our people. It all starts there. Everything about our culture starts with our people.
Right, and all this infrastructure that we provide for these meetings, it's all here. I mean, and as they say, it's all within pretty much walking distance too.
It is. And when you think about this foundational layer, just our convention sales team alone puts over 1,000 meetings into 2025, over 1,000 meetings into 2024. We'll get there in 26 because you're still booking in 26. So when you think about that requires a lot of technical excellence. You just can't be the fun city and produce that amount of events. And so not only do we have the walkability, so if it's a big meeting or even a medium-sized meeting, people feel like they're here for that event, and that doesn't happen everywhere else. So when you're here for a large meeting, you know you're here. Unmistakably, you're here for college football championship or American College of Cardiology. So that walkability is very special for us.
And you know, when you do these special events, because I know you're involved not only in the, and we want to touch on the medical meetings in just a minute, but I know you're a partner with like the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation when they go out, years ahead to try to do like a Super Bowl.
Right.
And you look at that as sort of a branding opportunity to show all these corporations that come through for these special events that New Orleans is a great meeting town.
Absolutely, because over a Super Bowl, you have real CEOs and business leaders that we don't get on a regular basis. And our team also partners with the Sports Foundation to secure all of the guest rooms for all of these major events. So we're working years in advance with our hotel community, and that partnership with the Sports Foundation is rich and deep, and we're very connected in how we work because it all comes together. Yeah. You have to have the sleeping rooms to make the event work. And I think in the instance of Super Bowl, many people in our community, and I would if I wasn't in our business, thinks that you win the bid and then it comes. But all of the work that goes to make it happen happens way in advance, and it starts at the guest room piece.
Wanted to make sure our viewers and listeners understand, you run a very large team of people here. You partner with the convention center. It's a different team, but y'all work as a partnership because that's a great facility, but you also bring meetings into these hotels that have large ballrooms and meeting spaces as well. So you've got all these tools to work with, including the convention center, correct?
That's right. And I think the most important thing is the sales team here at New Orleans and Company, our sales leaders, as we call them, are outstanding individuals. They are experienced, they are well respected, and they are out there every day. I looked at the numbers just on site inspections alone, bringing people to town, over 300 last year.
So these site inspections are when people coming in to consider New Orleans, and
That's
so
right.
You're putting on the sales, right?
Right, or they could be a definite site where we're then they're looking at venues or attractions. So the sales process happens all throughout the life of a meeting, but our sales team does the most incredible work of organizing these visits, taking them to hotels. We are the lead on when we're competing in a large meeting and putting that bid together. And we also have great partners at the convention center. And I think the most important thing about competition is when you show up together, you don't want to be competing against yourselves to go and make a sale.
Right.
Customers can sense that. And in New Orleans, there's a real community first. Our partnership with the convention center is seamless, as well as our partnership with the hotels. And that's so important in those three because it takes those three to secure the meeting so that everyone else can go and compete for all the other parts of that meeting, whether it be a destination management company, a florist, transportation. All those things typically come once you've confirmed the business.
Very
and
good.
That's why so much emphasis on the confirmation.
Let's look 20 years ahead. What gives you all the confidence for this city and for this unique place we call New Orleans?
The people of our city are so proud of our city and love sharing our culture. You literally can't sit at a Saints game and sit next to someone and you ask them where they're from, and then they tell you and you tell them 5 places to go eat, or ask them what they've done. That's never changed. That's not going to change. We are protectors of our culture. And I think what's really remarkable about us is we like to grow and evolve like the Superdome. The renovations are incredible, but it's iconic. When we just won the X Games, I listened to these athletes say, the idea that I get to compete in this facility that has hosted some of the most incredible events is really something special. And so when I look ahead, I just see more special events and conventions and meetings building on our legacy.
Beautifully put, because I think we welcome people to our home and we treat everyone like this is our house. Welcome to our house. And we want you to come back often, right?
We do. And there's this thing about competition that when we're all together as a community, if we're hosting, maybe doing a reception or bringing leadership together, the people here know each other. They may have grown up together. They may have gone to the same school. They may have met in this industry. Customers feel that. And then our partners will go back and compete within their own time, within their own space. And that, I think, is pretty remarkable, that people feel we just want the meeting in New Orleans. We can feel that from all of you, and then everybody will go and put their best foot forward to compete individually.
Excellent. Stephanie, thank you for being with us. Look forward to having you back, talking about the future of meetings and some of the big shows coming up as well that you're taking care of. And I'd love to work with you.
Me too, and thank you for letting me talk about our part of the hospitality
It's very
business.
important, very important. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have one of our own on the show this week. On the Table segment presented by Blue Runner Foods. He sits in the production crew each week. We're very fortunate to have him here. But today, he sits in the guest chair. How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. It's on.
Y'all know him. He's the host of that very popular Love to Eat Street interviews. And you all have been watching right here on the Love NOLA TV's YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. He's also the co-host on Apple Podcasts' #1 food podcast in the world.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Chef Shawn Pooch Rivera.
Mark, what a privilege to be in this chair, baby.
#1.
Yeah, I tell you what, I have to pinch myself every morning I wake up because, they say the old lineage, or adage, should I say, that right place at the right time, hard work puts you in there, and I'm always at the right place at the right time.
That's fantastic. And it's a Rummel grad making good.
About time some Rummel grads had to make good. About time.
I went to Brother Martin to give Rummel Raiders their
I'm actually in my Rummel Raider uniform today with the
blue
shirt out,
and the gray. Got a little red tag
a little bit,
there.
yeah, a little pride.
I love the street Q&As with local chefs that you've been doing, and I know you are the co-host of the Walk-In Talk Show. Great guy, Carl Fiadina. You've been working with him on that. But those people don't really know about Carl. Tell us about Carl, if you would.
Carl is a guy who's got, so much knowledge in the restaurant industry from a sales perspective and from a brokerage and procurement perspective, and that's what kind of makes the podcast a great mesh.
Yeah,
is that we have chefs, we have restaurateurs, and we have people from the brokerage and food supply
kind of
chain.
Behind the house, front of the house, and as you know, it's an ecosystem, so it takes a lot of people in that village.
That it does.
That it's unbelievable. But your journey, how did you get to where you are?
Man, it's a long story, I guess, man.
We got time.
Okay, we do got a little bit of time. So I grew up in Mid-City, was born in Mid-City, and
what street?
Cleveland Avenue. Cleveland Avenue.
My
Really?
father's family lived on Cleveland.
Really?
And in South Clark.
Wow, you're giving me chills.
Did
you go to St. Anthony?
Sacred Heart is where he went to grammar school. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I went to St. Anthony, but I grew up right there, right behind the Pavellini family.
Great neighborhood.
Great neighborhood. So I used to hop the fence coming home from school and go roll Manuel's Hot Tamales, and that's where my first love affair came with the food industry.
Right.
We thought we were cooking tamales, but we were actually taking them out of a crock pot and rolling them in newspaper. But that romance of seeing the cash through the window for something I accomplished really, really kind of sparked me. And my family has a lot of lineage, 100 years in that neighborhood. My great-great-grandfather came from Vacherie, Louisiana, to open up Stives Pharmacy right there on the corner of Cleveland and Carrollton. So that neighborhood has been where, my great-great-aunts would give everybody their flu shots. My great-great-uncle was upstairs doing the dentistry. So they all moved here from Vacherie to kind of be a part of that neighborhood. And really ironic, they were very much the Jesuit family. But I moved to Old Metairie with my father after my mother passed and ended up being a Rummel boy.
Well, that's all right.
It's all right.
That was such a great neighborhood.
It is such a great neighborhood. And it's just, you can't get more New Orleans than Mid-City, right?
Mm-hmm. So give us some background on the Walk and Talk Show.
So the Walk and Talk Show, I have to give all the kudos to Carl Fiadini. Like I said before, with luck and chance, we met through a colleague in the industry, and Carl started this during COVID, and it was really a Zoom call of sorts. For instance, every city had their own regulations, every state had their own regulations, and he brought together people from procurement. He brought together chefs. He brought together other restaurateurs on how are you guys doing things in San Francisco? How are you guys doing things in Tampa? How are you guys doing things in Florida? And everybody was learning and feeding off of each other. And it just so happened that a chef that was here for the ACF, the American Culinary Federation convention, he was part of the podcast at the time, and he mentioned in front of all these ACF chefs and culinary influencers, should I say, that the podcast was going on, and it blew up from there. I believe they were at number 13 at the time. From there, it blew up to number 1. It's been number 1 for the last 2 years.
And it's just not being heard and seen in the United States.
No, I tell you, I got to pinch myself. It's all over the world.
Worldwide.
It is worldwide. And it's really B2B. It's chef to chef, and we invite all listeners, especially foodies. But it's really chefs learning from other chefs on new techniques, culture, pride, all the things that it takes to be a chef in this industry these days.
And you keep the enthusiasm up, which is fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
I think that's natural for you.
Yeah, I think it is natural.
Let's talk about the Love to Eat New Orleans podcast. I'm sure your experience with Chef Carl, I'll call him Chef. I feel like
He's not a chef, but he may as well be a chef.
Yeah.
To get the term chef, you need to be recognized.
He hangs
by
out
your
with you
peers.
enough. I think
Exactly.
we could give him that. But what Carl and the whole walk-in talk is part of what gave birth to that. And now Love NOLA TV is the host of the show. Talk about how that came about.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it's really the Haggerty brothers. They kind of put this thing together, Love NOLA TV, and I have to give credit to all the hosts of Love to Eat before me. I'm just kind of here at the right place at the right time, like I said before, and blessed to be here. But we're starting something different. I think the podcast inspired some of the facts that we're starting a podcast for it, meaning that I'm on the #1 food podcast. But I think more so was really that New Orleans needed a food podcast of someone that really talked about the history and lineage of the food culture.
Right. And I like the fact that you're celebrating local chefs and restaurants and kind of giving them the opportunity to tell it from their perspective, that local food story.
Yeah, I think a lot of times our stories told through, whether it be National Geographic, CBS Morning News, all these beautiful, beautiful things that showcase the city so well. But at the end of the day, we never really tell the story from New Orleanian to New Orleanian. Even if you're not a New Orleans chef or restaurateur, you're telling it from ground zero. We're here, we're in the kitchens, we're on the ground, and we're hearing it from different perspectives. And what I really can't wait to do is really showcase those home cooks, showcase the people who enjoy food and why they enjoy it. And I think people will get more in tune to our culture that way.
Yeah, define home cooks.
Man, I'll tell you what. I mean, I can say it in one phrase. The best gumbo is at somebody's mama's house.
Right.
So it's just that, and you're gonna feel their soul, you're gonna feel their energy, and that's when I say home cooks. There's nobody here that can say that their best meal wasn't at somebody's house.
Yeah.
Because there's love involved in that, and there's, I believe that peace can come through food, man. And the world today is obviously a crazy place, but if we all sat down and had a meal, I think everything would be okay.
I totally agree. 2026 ahead. What can the listener expect on your show?
I think a lot of podcasts showcase the chef, they showcase the glitz and the glamour, but they don't showcase, especially New Orleans culture in our culinary scene. It's an ecosystem, and it takes so many different people. So I want to showcase the bartenders. I want to showcase, honestly, down to the dishwashers, down to, for instance, Uptown Tea, who's been there for 30 plus years, shucking oysters, and people that never get the glitz and the glam that they deserve, and really what makes the engine turn.
They're on the front line.
They're on the front line, and I can't wait to interview waitresses, waiters, bartenders. Everybody who makes this work even down to Care Restaurant and Supply. They are the engine that refueled this city after Katrina in the restaurant industry, and everybody deserves their shot and deserves to tell their story. And I'm just privileged to be able to let them do it.
Well, we look forward to seeing those guests, and again, when you're able to tell the story that it's just not the chef out front, it's a whole team of people that make that place special, or
Agreed.
Makes that food taste so good. Tell us one more time where we can find Love to Eat.
So Love to Eat is on the Love NOLA TV network, at Love NOLA TV on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube as well. And you can find Walk and Talk at The Walk and Talk Show, or online on Apple Podcasts, any podcast place. And Love to Eat, the podcast, is going to be on all channels as well.
Great. And shout out to Love NOLA TV's YouTube page. What the Haggertys are doing is fantastic. And you and I are both benefiting from their creativity, and we appreciate it.
I'm proud to be your running mate, brother.
This is cool.
It is so cool, man.
You're terrific. Love having you. And I'll see you with the crew.
Yes, sir. Thank you, baby.
All right, buddy.
Love you, New Orleans.
Move the chains. All right, it is time for Move the Chains, and today we're talking about one of the most entertaining things happening in sports right now. If you haven't heard of Savannah Bananas yet, you're missing out. It's coming to New Orleans this weekend. They've taken baseball, they've turned it on its head and created something called Banana Ball. It's part baseball, part dance party, and a whole lot of fun. And the best part for us here in New Orleans and Louisiana, one of the players making all that magic happen is a native of South Louisiana. So we had to bring him on the show to talk about his journey, the wild world of banana ball, and what's it like playing for one of the most talked about teams in sports. Joining us now is Savannah Bananas player Bryce Grizzaffi from Morgan City, Louisiana. Hey, Bryce, how you doing?
How's it going, Mark?
Man, we are so excited to see you in the Caesars Superdome this weekend.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to be there. I'm extremely grateful y'all having me on the show today.
Well, it's great to have you with us. And we want to explore, Bryce, with you, where you came from, what you're doing, and what the fans can expect when they see the bananas this weekend. First, let me ask you, you're a South Louisiana guy. What was it like growing up here in Louisiana? Morgan City, correct?
Yes, sir. Morgan City, Louisiana, born and raised.
Family still there?
Yes, sir. I have my grandma who still lives there. I have my brother who still lives there. My Aunt Gina. Yeah, I got quite a few family members who still live there. So I'll go back there for Thanksgiving and Christmas time and stuff. So it's always good to go back and see them.
Yeah, get some of that good food too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You already know.
How does a guy from Morgan City end up playing for the Savannah Bananas?
Man, I think it goes back to my college career. I had a pretty decent college career, played at Southeastern Louisiana University and then finished my career up at Lamar University. Yeah, man, just I really don't know, honestly. I finished up playing my career at Lamar University, and I was randomly checking my Instagram DMs one day, and I get a DM from Barry Aldridge with a banana ball, and he invited me to a tryout, and I didn't really think much about it. I honestly thought it was a scam at first, and then he left his phone number in my Instagram DMs. I shot him a text, and then we hopped on a phone call, and then he invited me to a tryout, and next thing you know, I was in Philadelphia trying out for the Bananas.
Fantastic. Listen, I know people are coming here for the first time to the Superdome. It'll be their first exposure to banana ball. What do people expect? What are the rules? What will they see happen on the field?
Yeah, I don't think people should expect to see any normal old baseball game. It's when people hear baseball game, they probably think of slow pace, a lot of downtime. But I think you should expect a show. I think the Louisiana people are going to really love banana ball if they haven't seen it before. I think they're in for a treat. It's literally something going on every single pitch. Like if you look down at your phone for about 5 minutes, you're gonna miss something cool happen. And literally, we've had innings go by 1, 2, 3 innings takes like 5 minutes sometimes. Like it's a very fast paced game. There's dances going on. There's entertainment going on. There's players in the stands interacting with fans. We do TikTok trends during the game. It's all one big show to make the fans feel happy and actually enjoy the game the entire time instead of, watching a normal baseball game and you're like, oh man, 7th inning stretch. This is a long game. We want the 7th inning to be make it feel like the first inning, how that same excitement the entire game. And that's our goal, just to bring happiness to fans and, want to come back to another banana ball game, which is why I think we have, 502 consecutive sellout games from this past weekend. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Amazing. So, you've been to the Superdome to watch Saints games, right?
Yes,
and you know that intensity that you feel in a Saints game. And, of course, you've been to LSU games in Baton Rouge likely, and, of course, Southeastern as well. How would you compare the energy that you feel in those games to what you've experienced now with your 3 games at Savannah Bananas with Banana Ball?
Yeah, it's very similar. I've been to some Saints games where it's every stadium's filled, and but that same excitement that you feel throughout the Saints game is the entire game of banana ball. Like every single inning, every single pitch, there's music playing the entire time. Fans are on their feet. There's something going on every single pitch. it's that same intensity and excitement the entire game. So
That's
that's what I
fantastic.
would say that you get ready to expect with us coming into New Orleans. That New Orleans Saints excitement that they have during the Saints games, that's gonna be it the entire weekend. It's gonna be an absolute show. I can't wait for it.
And all the more reason if someone's not able to be with us at the Superdome this weekend, because tickets went very, very fast, and
Yeah,
I
it's
know there's
great.
always a market out there for tickets, but if you're not in the Dome this weekend, you should put it on your bucket list, right, for future games.
Absolutely, no doubt. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
So let's talk about your dancing. Have you ever? Well, let's talk about your fellow players, because you may want to be humble and not talk about your great dancing. Who's like the worst dancer on the team?
Worst dancer. I don't really
We
want to
won't.
call
We
anybody
won't let
out,
anybody know that
but
you said this.
but if you would ask anybody else on the team, I'm sure I would get some votes.
Okay.
But I think I gotta go with my boy Easton Parrish. He's a big, strong dude. He's not the most
Doesn't
nimble
have
on
the
his feet,
moves.
but don't get me wrong, EP can hit a baseball extremely far,
He
extremely
makes
far.
up for it, right, with his
He does
hitting.
make
All
up.
right.
But if you check out our latest walk up by Max Young Goldberg, the double Dutch bus dance, my boy EP did kill that dance in the background.
All right.
So
Well, he'll be doing it this weekend.
we did it last weekend. I'm sure he'll be doing another dance this weekend though.
All right. Yeah, because I'm sure you'll have to practice often to get this
Yeah, we,
down,
we don't
right?
really do the same dances over and over again. We practice new dances each week and go over what we're gonna go for the game. So
Did you know that when you went to Philadelphia that this would be your life?
absolutely not. No, it's
That is
a dream
amazing.
that I never knew I had.
Listen, you posted recently a video when you were asking your fellow players, teammates, what were they looking forward to eating while they're in New Orleans? Were you surprised by some of the reactions? Because there were some pretty good dishes listed.
What's up, guys? We're going to be asking my teammates today what their favorite Louisiana dish or a Louisiana dish that they're willing to try.
I really haven't tried any authentic Louisiana dish, but I'm excited to try that etouffee, some
That's
of that
right.
gumbo,
That's right.
some of that crawfish,
Come on now.
some of that gator.
Hey.
Let me get it on. I'm ready for
Yes,
it.
sir.
Give me a classic crawfish boil with some shrimp in there. Give me some hard-boiled eggs, potatoes, lots of Old Bay seasoning, maybe a couple corn on the cob as well.
Yeah, I was surprised by some of their picks, but I was more surprised at the comments I got on the video. We got some passionate Louisiana people that don't like that Old Bay seasoning in the crawfish boil. So
Yeah, people are so traditional and purist down here, and I'm sure your fellow teammates will enjoy the food when they get here and know
no
that
doubt.
they got to come back to the Superdome often and do that. Well, Bryce, listen, we are so looking forward to seeing you back in Louisiana this coming weekend at the Caesars Superdome. Baseball in the Dome returning with Banana Ball and Savannah Bananas. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great outing. So good luck, and come see us around the stadium. I know you're going to do a little walkabout, hopefully, beforehand. Come see all your fans. We're so pleased to have in our studio today the Consul General for the French Republic, Rodolphe Sambou, who has been in his post here in Louisiana for about 2 years, and hopefully he'll be here for many more years. I've gotten to know this gentleman over the last several years, particularly through the Consular Corps, and it is indeed a pleasure and an honor to have you with us. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, merci beaucoup. Bonjour, Mark. It's a pleasure to be in your show. Right. And thank you for the welcoming you've granted me since I arrived in New Orleans. Merci.
Well, you're most welcome. You are such a wonderful representative of your country, and you've brought so much enthusiasm and excitement to the post, and we appreciate that.
We try.
Yeah.
Merci.
Speaking of that, give our viewers and listening audience just a sense of the deep connection between our two parts of the world.
So I start with France and Louisiana. It's been a connection since the very beginning, and since the worst real estate deal we've done, selling Louisiana to the U.S., and it's been a terrible mistake that we still it's still painful today to be here. But we feel so many strong connections. Yeah. So the Consulate General of France is the eldest French consulate in the United States.
Really,
it's the only one covering only one state. The state of
which
Louisiana.
Underscores the importance that Louisiana has.
It underscores the very ties, the ties we have, and the depth of the common history. And you can see it everywhere, and you can see it in the name, in the enthusiasms, in the heritage, in the grandfathers speaking to their grandsons in French immersion schools. It's really wonderful to see those connections. Each time I am in the streets, everyone is coming to me to talk about their connections to France, their ancestors coming from some part of France, asking me to relate with some people. So it's really something very intimate, very close, and that we can see it in the architecture, in the music, in the everywhere in the city. You can see these connections also beyond the city, all over Louisiana, also in
your
Lafayette.
Footprint, your work actually extends beyond New Orleans.
Yes.
You're constantly traveling throughout the state of Louisiana.
Yes, and beyond, also in DC, given the international context. But yes, Louisiana is. So I'm often in the Cajun country in Lafayette. Like I was on Friday with the mayor. We opened the Francophonie, le Mois de la Francophonie, the Francophonie month. And yes, all over Louisiana, Lake Charles, Shreveport, it's a wonderful and diverse I say country, but I would say,
we
region.
think it's a country too.
You think it's a country. I think too. And it's really wonderful to see this diversity. But everywhere I go, I see smiles. I see a will to reinforce the connections between France and Louisiana, which I'm delighted of.
That's wonderful. Let's just talk about your experience as a diplomat in becoming Consul General for France. How did your work start? How did you get your beginning in this world of diplomacy?
Okay, so it's before I used to be a philosophy teacher in a French institute in Egypt. I used to work at the Louvre Museum, but I didn't steal the jewels.
Okay. They're not looking for you.
Yeah, no, they're not looking for me. I promise you. And I liked to travel. I liked to meet people. I liked to understand other culture. And so I decided to join the French Foreign Ministry, the equivalent of the State Department. And yes, I've been all over places. I've been to Haiti. I've been to Thailand. I think it's a place you know.
Yes, I know
pretty
Thailand. Yes,
well.
I do.
I was 3 years there. I used to be in the UN system in New York. I was in New Zealand as well. I dealt with human rights, Asia Pacific, a whole bunch of things. So it's really interesting because every 3 years you change job. It's a challenge for the family, but it's great. I love it.
That's wonderful. The typical day of a Consul General here in New Orleans, or say the consulate in general, what sort of work does the consulate do, the services they provide?
So the typical day is. There is not a typical day. That's our typical day. You have the unexpected happening. You've been witnessing this 2 minutes ago. So our first concern is the security and the safety of the French community here, like every consulate. So we have more or less 2,500 people living in Louisiana. We have depending, I mean, you know this better than I do, but between 60,000
French citizens.
French citizens.
Who actually, they voted in French elections.
Yes. They live here, and we also have many tourists. So it's very hard to collect the data, but between 60,000 and 80,000 French tourists a year here. So it's a lot of people. So sometimes everything is great for them. Sometimes they have problems. They lose their passports. They are drunk on Bourbon Street. Don't call me, don't quote me, okay? But and
just
and,
don't get drunk on Bourbon Street.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't get drunk on Bourbon Street. And no, and you have to deal with them. We have a lot of codophile teachers also. The French government sends 115 teachers to teach French in 48 immersion schools in Louisiana. We have more or less 6,000 people in those schools, so it's a big event, and it's growing, and it's a big effort from the French
Council
government.
for the Development of French.
Yes,
in
the
Louisiana,
Council. It's the
Codeville.
Council for the French. Yeah, for the development of French in Louisiana. Yes,
it's a big program, and
it's
I know
a
it's
big
been very
program.
successful.
It's very successful. We are very happy, and it's increasing. I mean, the like 115 teachers. We have shortage of teachers everywhere in the US and in France as well. So it's a very big effort, but it shows you the commitment and dedication of the French government to maintain the French heritage here in Louisiana.
You mentioned the visitation that comes to New Orleans and to Louisiana from France.
Yes.
The recent visit by President Macron to New Orleans had to be a huge boost for awareness of New Orleans because of that wonderful walkabout he did in the French Quarter with you. And
he was so delighted. He was really delighted by this not only this heritage but the dynamism and the will to reinforce the relation. I know his security team was mad at him because he was just
he was second lining.
He was second lining in front of us. He really wanted to go and see people. So like the other day I spoke to his security team, and they were just like sweating when he was here and saying how delighted he was. He really enjoyed his time here, and yes, he's very careful about what happens here in Louisiana.
Yeah, and of course the reverse happens too. People love to go to France from New Orleans and from Louisiana. We're talking, and nothing is certain, until it happens. But there's a potential this fall that the Saints will be bringing that number into Paris for a game, and I know there's details that still have to be worked through, but I know how important your role has been in helping there.
We are very delighted to host the Saints again. It's really, we are working on it. I'm sweating at the office, but we really want to make this event because sports unites people, and we need at the moment to have very strong relation between France and Louisiana, a relation of friendship. To recall that France and Louisiana, we are united. We are allies, France and the United States. So it's a powerful symbol to see an NFL game in Paris. It's even more powerful that the Saints are here, partake part of this because of the French heritage. So we are going to make this a great event, and we are very, very happy and proud and we are working closely with the Saints, with the NFL, with the French NFL, and trying to show French people that football and soccer, that football is not soccer and soccer is not football. So it's because you have the World Cup here, it's all the way around.
Yeah,
so
we'll have to give them a couple of move them chains as well, right?
Exactly.
It's going to be fantastic.
Uh-huh.
So the French influence in Louisiana, the influence of New Orleans in France. We talk about our tricentennial, which occurred in 2018.
Yes.
There was another way for us to celebrate the strong bond and connection. There's also industry here, French industry. Could you speak to us about that?
Yes, we have plenty of businesses here. We are the second second or third. I still fight with my colleagues to say whether we are the second or third foreign employers in the States. The bilateral trade is almost $3 billion. It's very important to show you. It's the 13th state in the United States with more bilateral trade with France, and it's like in energy, in transport, in maritime transports, in infrastructures, and we have many French companies here, some operating from Texas, but mainly based here in Louisiana. Air Liquide, Total. I will not make any advertising for them because they will. If I forget one, I get executed. So, but basically, we have a very, very strong presence here, and we want to reinforce it. And for this, we need predictability an environment. And the governor was in Paris last for the Paris Air Show in June. So I was with him, and we were delighted because we made some very strong connections to develop the economic opportunities, and there is a lot to do that
Very
can be
good.
done.
And I know the French American Chamber of Commerce is very active.
It
You've
is.
got a number of good partners here.
It is.
Which is wonderful.
It is. They are wonderful. They help me a lot. I was with them, talking to them on Friday afternoon, and they are wonderful, and they really help me because we are a small team, but we work. They are very dedicated and committed.
Very
yes.
good. Let's talk about the family.
Yes.
You have children.
Yes, I do.
You have a beautiful home here that you also use as entertaining for the French community and for
working.
and work as well. What's been their experience living here?
They love it, because again, there is such a connection that there is such a connection between France and Louisiana that when you arrive, you feel home. They were at school. They saw the architecture. It's a walkable city. It's plenty of people speaking French. Some people they stop in front of the residence and they are very interested. So sometimes they ring the bell. So I go out in pajamas and try to explain them about the history of France. So again, this welcoming, we've been so much welcome, and we used to live in our last posting was in Paris. Parisians, it's a beautiful city, but sometimes as a proud Parisian, I can say it, we are very grumpy, and so and here we can see all the smiles and the people smiling, helping us, telling us their connections to France, and very helpful. So they are delighted. They don't want to leave, I think.
And they're bitten by the Mardi Gras bug, I imagine.
They have.
Is it not too far from the parade route?
Yeah, our house is right in the middle of the parade. So during Mardi Gras parade, I am exhausted.
You're in the box, actually.
I am in the box, and so I leave my. So the first years, I went to every single parade, and I was exhausted, and now I leave the girls, I leave my daughters to go to the parades. They enjoy it so much, and you see again, it's very, very moving because in. These Mardi Gras traditions in France, we have it in Nice, in northern parts of France, we have it. So to see those connections, those carnivals, and when I came back to France in the Basque region last Christmas, not this one, and I saw also some parades and some bits. So you can see those cultural connections, but we have so many cultural connections in opera as well. We had. The Edmond Dede Morgian event at the St. Louis Cathedral last Thursday. It was a wonderful event, and we have so many connections in so many fields in cinema.
I'm glad you mentioned the Cathedral project. Of course, Notre Dame went through its terrible tragedy, and of course, it's been rebuilt, and now with Mrs. Benson's assistance, our cathedral is going through a same renovation process, and that's a very strong connection. I know you've been following that process.
Yes, we have a very very close connections for this for many years, far before Notre Dame was burned. We have cultural connections. So the organist of Notre Dame, the main organist of Notre Dame, was here for 6 months. Has been here working in St. Louis Cathedral. Mrs. Benson has been instrumental in helping us. I know she doesn't want that we speak too much about this, but she's helped a lot for the reconstruction of Notre Dame.
Her leadership effort is so critical for us to achieve that goal.
We were very grateful for what she did, not only for St. Louis Cathedral, but for Notre Dame de Paris as well. Yes. So she attended the reopening ceremony. And here we see the efforts, which is a part of the French heritage. When I enter, you see signs in France. It's Louis IX is it was our king, and you see when I was there, I could identify some statues and saints. Again with my daughters, who is it? It's Joan of Arc. Who is this? This is Saint Louis. What did he do? Blah blah. So I could revise French history through being in the cathedral. So it's very moving. I really hope I really hope we also proposed to have some expertise from France, to send some expertise, and it's something we are working also very closely on this. Yes,
that cathedral belongs to all of us, and
exactly.
we want to make sure that it lasts for many, many more centuries.
It's a very part of our common heritage. Yes.
Yeah. Your initiatives this year, you want to speak to any special initiatives for 2026?
So many initiatives. Basically, I mean, we do a lot in obviously in cultures. We have a huge program of residents here, so called from the Villa Albertine. We also, so the Saints will be very good. We try to develop economic relations. We have a French book festival here. We have the Alliance Française working a lot. We have many other French-speaking organizations working. We try to develop the relations with Guadeloupe. So with the Guadeloupe and Martinique, we try to reinforce connectivity as well. We do a lot of efforts. I am tired of having to change flight when I go back to Paris, and I'm trying very hard to get Air France here. But it's a long work. It's a long-term work, but I'm trying very hard. So that's
my sense is that you'll have some people using that. When it
I know. I hope. Yeah.
All right. You know, we like to do this with our very special featured guests, and that's our official New Orleans questionnaire. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to take you through a couple of questions and let us know. Let us know your answers. How about that? First one, always the one we'd like to kick this off with. What do you believe is the best poor boy?
So I know you looked surprised when I told this, but next to my place I have a po' boy with some shrimps in it and lettuce and tomatoes, and I love it, and that's the one I eat.
You like that?
I
love
love
it.
Do
crawfish on that as well?
I do have crawfish in it. Yeah, crawfish.
So
crawfish.
You've given me an idea for lunch today.
Okay, great. That's great.
New Orleans musical artist. Is there a musical artist that you prefer?
I like Erlene Riley. I really like very much. I listen to him often, and yes, I would say him. Yeah.
Very good. Now I know you've done either Mardi Gras or Jazz Fest a couple of times at least. Do you have a favorite of one or the other? Prefer Mardi Gras or do you prefer Jazz Fest?
I mean, I've been to both. It really depends on the concerts I've seen. I think to choose, it's very hard to choose between both. It's a tricky question. I would say Jazz Fest. Fest. Yes.
And that's coming up soon.
Yes,
we'll
I'm
see you out there
with Herbie Hancock. I know.
Let's talk gumbo.
Okay.
Do you prefer chicken or seafood gumbo?
Andouille gumbo.
Andouille. So
yes.
Maybe andouille straight, or would you have some chicken in there, or
no?
Just
I won't.
Andouille,
No. I am very strict on this. Yeah,
very good.
Adamant. Yes.
We have something here we call neutral ground or sidewalk. Now,
neutral ground.
Do you prefer the neutral ground or sidewalk? This could be, for instance, when you're watching a parade. You like to be on the sidewalk side, or do you like to get into the median or the neutral ground?
So the first year I would have said going to the parade, and now no, a little bit. I am too old for this, so I'm going to watch it.
On
yes.
the
sidewalks.
Off,
yes, exactly.
Good escape route that way. Your earliest memory of visiting the French Quarter, was it the first time you had your post here,
No.
or had you been here before?
I'm going to tell you, it's a bit long, but I was in Haiti. There was I was posted in Haiti in the French embassy, and I took a flight to Miami, and then I decided to come to New Orleans, and I arrived in New Orleans a Saturday morning on Royal Street. I arrived, so the taxi just dropped me on Royal Street. I didn't know anything about New Orleans.
Sent me to the French Quarter.
He just, my hotel was in the French Quarter, but I arrived coming from the chaos of Haiti, and I arrived here on a Saturday morning on Royal Street, seeing antique bookshops, people playing in the streets, dancing, incredible second-hand bookshops. It's incredible, and I was really. It looks like a stereotype, I know, because, but it's exactly the first impression I got from you. Are asking me what was your first impression, listening to great artists, musicians in the streets, in regular streets, antique shops, coffee cafes, and bookshops. It's paradise for me. So sorry that you have my
That's
answer.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, what, you stayed for the weekend?
So I stayed for 4 days. I stayed for 4 days. I went to the. I remember. I went to the HNSC. I went to discover all
New Orleans
those
collection
connections.
is a great place for
It's a
anyone
great-
first time, particularly
Yes.
to get to New Orleans.
Exactly.
To see,
Yeah. It was.
kind
It
of
was.
map it out.
Yes, and Noma as well. I mean, I've been to. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Who would be your ideal guest for lunch if you had to invite one person, either dead or alive, to a lunch? Who would you invite? And in New Orleans, where would you go?
So who? I did invite
Could
you.
be a
No, you may.
Thank you, and I'd go with you.
Yeah.
Historical character or present day person?
I will choose because I am here. I would choose Lafayette. Because I have an admiration for him, for what he did for the relations of friendship between France and the United States, for the values he defended, for the principles he defended, and for the sacrifices he made to defend those principles and those values, and the long-standing friendship between France and the United States.
Fantastic.
I think. No, sorry. You asked me where
would you go?
where
That's
would
right.
you go? You know, like it's. Well, I would cook for him. I would go home to the French residence and I would cook for him.
What would you cook?
What would I cook? Depending whether he wants an American dish or I will cook some Basque piperade, which you can find here. Basque is where my mother is from in France, and so I learned to cook some Basque things, and I will.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Fantastic. What is one New Orleans food item you can't live without?
My daughters would definitely say the beignet, but I would say gumbo. I really love it. And
Go
you
back
know,
to that andouille gumbo.
And exactly. And you know what is very very moving for me? My father is originally from Senegal, and I see such a connections on the food between gumbo, jambalaya, and the food they were eating there, like for obvious reasons. But it's really moving to see these kinds of culinary connections. So yeah,
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Here, I'm going to set up this scenario. You've been out of New Orleans for a month, and you're flying back into New Orleans now. You hop into an Uber, and you decide you're going to have a drink. Where are you going to go have that drink, and what are you going to drink?
I would. So I often. I will make you two answers because I often go back and forth. I go to Washington and I come back. So the first thing I would come home and have a drink, a glass of French wine with my wife. That's the first thing. The bottles I smuggled, the bottles I smuggled from France. But I would go to there is a bar I really like. I think it's a bar of Hotel Marilou, but I don't want to make a advertisement. But a Sazerac drink, I really like
Go
it.
with
I
the
discovered,
Sazerac,
the Sazerac is very, very good.
I know you get into trouble when you
Intimate,
start
yes.
naming your
Yeah,
favorite
yeah,
bar,
so-
restaurants, like naming your favorite children, right? Or your
I
favorite
know, yeah,
child.
exactly. They always ask my children, you know,
always.
like.
Final question. In 5 words or less, why do you love New Orleans?
Smiles, hospitality, heritage, friendship, amitié, which means welcome.
Wonderful.
Which means friendship in French.
Well, thank you for your friendship, and thank you for being with us today.
You're more than
It's
welcome.
wonderful having you in New Orleans and Louisiana, and we look forward to some more adventures with you as we go forward.
With great pleasure, and it's been always a pleasure working with all of you, including Mark. You've been an outstanding supporter of the relations between France and Louisiana. So thank you so much.
Most
Merci
welcome.
beaucoup. Merci.
See you soon. All right, let's see what else is going on in New Orleans with This Week in New Orleans. Take it away, April Dupree.
Thanks so much, Mark. Here's where to eat, drink, and play this week in New Orleans. Wednesday at the Square is back, baby. That means live music, good energy, and tons of great food in Lafayette Square. The series kicks off this week with Big Sam's Funky Nation and the Zaria Sims Collective, so come hungry and make dinner part of your experience. The food vendor lineup is stacked with local favorites, including Acacia's Cafe, Agent Cajun, Bruto Americano, Seaworthy, Bub's Burgers, and Koshan King. You'll also find crepes a la carte, Magazine, Lily's Cajun Kitchen, and Que Pasta Nola, plus sweet treats from Fresh Fruit Sensations and Imperial Woodpecker Snowballs. Keep an eye out for Moon Garden, Waska, and many others. St. Patrick's weekend is coming in hot, and our city knows how to do Irish pubs right. If you're looking to make a little pub crawl out of it, start at Finn McCool's in Mid-City, a true classic favorite known for its big energy, great sports watch parties, and classic pub fare. Over on Bienville, Mixed Irish Pub feels exactly like your neighborhood hangout should. In the Irish Channel, Parasols is always a vibe this time of the year. In the French Quarter, Aaron Rose is your go-to for a frozen Irish coffee, while Fahey's Irish Pub keeps it easy, casual, and full of local flavor. And if you want something a little quieter but still a classic, Boondock Saints and Molly's at the Market round out a solid list of pubs worth stopping into this week. New Orleans Entrepreneur Week kicks off Monday through Saturday with events across the city celebrating innovation, small business, and big ideas. The New Orleans Book Festival at Tulane University runs Thursday through Sunday, bringing authors, panel discussions, and free programming for readers of all ages. Local authors, artists, and storytellers, including Tariana Tank Ball and Brian Batts, will also be a part of the celebration. Sports fans can catch the Pelicans take on the Toronto Raptors at the Smoothie King Center or head to the Caesars Superdome for Banana Ball, where the Savannah Bananas and Party Animals are all bringing a fast-paced, entertainment-filled twist on baseball this Saturday and Sunday. And yes, parades are rolling again, but this time for St. Patrick's Day. The Irish Channel Parade, known for floats throwing cabbages, carrots, and all kinds of surprises, returns this Saturday. The following day, Uptown Super Sunday takes over A.L. Davis Park as black masking Mardi Gras Indian tribes come together in a powerful display of culture, music, and community. For more information on where to eat, drink, and play this week in New Orleans, scan the QR code. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, April. A lot going on. And speaking of what's going on, we have Savannah Bananas in town this week at the Caesars Superdome. What's great about this is that the Caesars Superdome can have a baseball game, as it can have a football game, and it can have a rodeo and so many other things. In fact, next week we're going to be talking to somebody from the Hondo, which is the Super Bowl of rodeos coming to the city of New Orleans. And we're all looking forward to being in the stadium this week for Savannah Bananas. Kagan, what's happening in the music scene?
Okay, well, to start off for this week, Wednesdays at the Square is kicking off this Wednesday, which is huge. That's 10 weeks of free concerts at Lafayette Square, 5 to 8 every Wednesday. So it's kicking off with Big Sam's, Funky Nation, and Zaria Collective. So that's sponsored by the YL Consul. It's a fabulous, free, local live music. And on the night side tip, there's always reggae night that's happening at the Blue Nile with T. Roy. I mean, really, in New Orleans, you can enjoy some music at any time of the day and any corner of the city. So we are absolutely spoiled.
And New Orleans and Company's got a great source of music
absolutely
activity, right? Just go online at neworleans.com and find it.
Exactly. There's a nightlife, neworleans.com/nightlife, and it will give you a rundown of what's going on at the plethora of venues in the city. Two other events that I want to lift up is the Jazz Bounce Lounge, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a fusion of jazz and bounce, and that's taking place at the Double Dealer this Friday. And there's also the Heat Wave Dance Party, another personal fave. Shout out DJ Ann, who's been doing Mod Night for, I would say, the past 15 to 20 years. And she's also had the Heat Wave Dance Party, which is a all vinyl rare groove party. And that's taking place at 12 Mile Limit this Saturday night, 3/14. So
a lot going on. You know,
I
you
go to
mentioned
it.
the Wednesdays at the Square, the Young Leadership Council that puts that together, the YLC,
Yes.
as you said. They've been doing that for so many years, and it's just a wonderful way to spend an afternoon, early evening in the downtown area. Food, beverage, great music, wonderful location, right? Lafayette Square, right across from Gallier Hall. So they always have a great lineup.
It's so nice. And it's free.
And it's free. It's free, and it's that perfect happy medium. It's not too late. You're able to hit it after work. If you work a 9 to 5, grab a bite to eat before you head home. Maybe, spend some time with some buddies.
In the warehouse district.
yeah,
so
it's
many
great.
places.
Bring a blanket with you to work that morning.
Absolutely. Bring a blanket, a chair.
Yeah. It's really fantastic. They do a great job. Well, again, we're in festival season. There's lots of music. You're going to find music everywhere. And we look forward to following your footsteps and your recommendations. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
And now, as you know, we like to close each of our shows with something about New Orleans, about this region that we deem is positively New Orleans. It is certainly the season of festivals, and we will be covering as many as we can on this show. This week, I want to mention the 44th Annual Louisiana Irish Italian Parade, which will be held on Sunday, March 22nd, the 54th Annual Italian American St. Joseph's Parade on Saturday, March 28th, and of course, the Gretna Italian Irish Parade, which was just held this past weekend. So much to celebrate and so much to remember. You know, when we tell the story of New Orleans and the region, we are telling a story of courage, of ships arriving at the edge of a vast river, of families stepping into unfamiliar docks with little more than faith, hope, and determination. And among those families were thousands of Irish and Italian immigrants who forever shaped the soul of this city. Regarding the Irish and Italians, in the mid-19th century, the Irish fled famine and hardship at home. By the 1850s, they made up nearly a quarter of New Orleans' population. They dug the New Basin Canal with their hands. They laid track, built roads, worked the docks, and helped construct the very infrastructure that allowed this port city to thrive. Many paid a terrible price: disease, poverty, and discrimination. But their resilience became part of our DNA. A few decades later, Sicilian and other Italian immigrants arrived in large numbers. By the late 1800s, New Orleans was home to one of the largest Italian communities in the South. They became fishermen in the Gulf, farmers in nearby parishes, grocers in our neighborhoods. They introduced fresh produce markets and built family-run businesses that still carry their names. They gave us traditions like St. Joseph's altars, an expression of gratitude and faith that remain a cherished New Orleans celebration. Together, the Irish and Italians helped define who we are. They shaped our neighborhoods, like the Irish Channel and what was once called Little Palermo. They influenced our food, from hearty stews to muffulettas. They strengthened our churches, our labor movement, and our cultural life. But more than statistics or landmarks, their legacy is something deeper. It is the spirit of perseverance, the belief that no matter where you begin, you can build something lasting here. New Orleans is not simply a city of history. It's a city built by these people and other immigrants who refuse to give up. And in honoring these communities, we honor the enduring truth that our diversity is not just part of our story, it's the very foundation of it. So let us celebrate, and let us remember, and honor the past, and then build for the future together. And that's positively New Orleans. And that's a wrap. Thanks to our sponsors, Blue Runner Foods, New Orleans & Company, our friends at Visit the North Shore and their podcast, All the Waves. Go check it out. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for all of our new videos. We'll see you next week.